Who else knows about this?
SETI in New Mexico identified a signal. Now, we estimate that it has a diameter of over 550 kilometers and a mass roughly one-fourth the size of our moon.
What the hell is it? A meteor?
No, sir.
No, definitely not.
How do you know?
Well, sir, it's slowing down.
It's what?
It's like chess. First, they're positioning their pieces using this one signal to synchronize their efforts. And then what? Checkmate.
Welcome, everybody, to Spitball Cinema. I'm Shane.
That boop 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 boop. That's part of our theme music.
Hey,
Yeah, is that what
I'm
it
all
is?
about the boop boop.
I'm Scott.
I'm David.
And we're here to talk about Independence Day. It's 4th of July.
Hey,
Independence Day, 1996.
welcome to Earth. Haha.
Another classic line.
Oh yeah.
What?
So, what are your first memories of Independence Day there, Shane?
I'll tell you what, I loved Independence Day. That was like one of my favorite movies. I remember going to it on July 4th, made a point of it, heading to the theaters, and I just loved how it started. July 1st, July 2nd, or July 3rd, boom, just day to day to day.
Oh, it's awesome.
And it was so good. I just remember, like it starts off with "It's the End of the World as We Know It" playing,
Yeah.
with the SETI satellite station.
So cool.
But it was just the epitome of fun summer movie blockbuster. You got aliens, you had Will Smith at the time.
Oh yeah.
It was just fun.
Yeah, I remember we saw it opening day. I think we had to go during the afternoon because all the night showings were sold out. Man, that's how big that movie was. I mean,
Oh yeah, the hype was insane.
big, insane. I
Yeah.
remember with my friend Todd and Travis and Chris and Derek, and the theater was packed. I mean, it was just one of the few times that the whole audience got so into the movie, people cheering and screaming and hollering. It was awesome, and the
People
theater,
laughing in
dude,
the middle of
theater,
it.
they turned the volume up really loud. I knew we were shaking the whole building. But yeah, it was a fun popcorn movie. Again, Bill Pullman,
Pullman.
Yeah.
did a great job, especially giving that historic speech.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is Independence Day.
It's not just an American holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit's so good.
Yeah, oh yeah, but everyone I mean, people were clapping at the end. I mean,
Oh, yeah. When he did the speech, everybody started
Yeah.
cheering in the
Yeah.
in the audience.
I mean, people was standing up and screaming. It was just fun.
yeah.
It was awesome.
Well, and the marketing was pretty good on this too.
Yeah,
you
you're
know?
right,
I mean,
'cause-
they marketed this very well.
But
I mean, everybody was
blow up the White House.
Yeah,
you're
that-
getting butts and seats.
Oh man,
That's how that works.
That freaking scene where they showed the White House being blown up.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
man.
when you're watching that trailer, before you went and saw the movie, you're like, "What the
Yeah.
hell?" I mean, that was unreal.
Yeah. But I mean, the humor was great. But yeah, when you talk about just unreal, when because it's got that kind of that slow roll beginning, when
Yeah.
you see the shadows and the ship coming in and they're talking about it and everything. And then when you actually see the big giant ships entering the atmosphere,
Oh yeah.
and the whole sky is just on fire,
Yeah,
and they got those clouds.
And it comes out of
just
the
billowing.
clouds. Yeah, that was just
Oh,
that was
gave you
pretty
the
impressive. Yeah, that
chills.
was pretty impressed because you're like, man, what the hell would I do if I walked out and saw
Oh,
something
man.
like
Oh,
that?
you saw something like that? You just I just be I just stand there and stare.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like deer in the headlights.
Yeah, I mean, well, people would be freaking out. I mean, there would be people they'd kill themselves and stuff seeing something like that.
Well, yeah, but I
You
mean,
know.
like that's like all the cars slamming
Yeah.
into each other, like in New York City and stuff. And
Yeah, that's what was interesting.
just
The cop stepping out and somebody slams into his car and he's not even like
you just
paying
gotta
attention.
go.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you actually, kind of cared about the characters, which was big because,
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
fairly
yeah,
well.
they did do
They
it.
tied the storylines
Hmm.
really well together.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
character development was really good in this. I mean, you really did like the characters,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Especially the woman who played Will Smith's girlfriend,
Vivica Fox.
Vivica Fox.
Yeah, I remember that scene, man. She was really
And,
beautiful.
and you know what? I saw an interview
Oh,
with her when she was talking about that, and she was just like, I thought that was a big part of my character. She goes, I went and trained. She went
Yeah.
and
yeah.
spent days and days and days in training just to have it cut down to like this 10-second
Yeah.
thing of her spinning
Yeah.
around on this pole. She
But
went through like full pole dancer training just to
but
do that.
it was a well remembered
I'll tell you
tense.
what,
It was
Well,
she nailed it.
she's a great actress too. I
yeah.
mean, just happens she's drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah, she nailed that part. Oh
But
yeah.
all the acting and the storylines, you got the president, you got
Yeah. What?
his chief of staff whose ex-husband just happens to work in New York, and
The
and it's
scientist type.
scientist, yeah, then
Jeff Goldblum, right?
yeah,
Jeff played by Jeff Goldblum. Yeah,
and
and he does it at this point of Jeff Goldblum's life and acting. He's doing this character like he did in Jurassic Park,
Oh yeah.
kind of the kind of the cynic in not going along with everything, thinking, hey, something's going
Yeah.
on here, because everybody in this film at first were like, oh, they're going to be friendly. They didn't come here, just like Will Smith says in that one
Mm.
line. I don't think they came all this way to pick a fight,
yeah,
but they did.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
and he's figuring out oh shit, there's a count. He figures out there's a countdown.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's
That's
like
what was.
checkmate.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
ooh.
What happens when it gets to zero? And I love that line. And he just looks and he goes, checkmate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
And that,
Well, and Judd Hirsch playing his father
We
was
were
oh
talking
yeah.
about that. Yeah.
he
Josh
was
Hirsch
great.
is very
Was
great.
Jeff Goldblum really a scientist in this? No, he not really. He was like a
Mathematician.
mathematician. That's
Mathematician.
right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
and he was working
Yeah.
for the cable
The
company.
cave. Yeah.
That's why when his dad's like, he's like, well, I just triangulated her position inside of the White House so that I know where she's at. And he's like, you can do that? And he goes, yeah, Dad, all cable repairmen can do that.
Yeah.
Because Dad's always giving him grief.
Yeah, played by Judd Hirsch. Judd Hirsch was great in that. I thought
He
he did. I thought
was.
he did a really good job as a
Very, very good.
Yeah.
He's good in anything.
But you know who I really liked in this more than any of them? I loved Robert Loggia as the Marine general.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Robert
I mean,
Loggia.
he just looked like the military guy, and I love that one scene when they said it's definitely not a meteor, and he says, well, why do you say that? And he said, because it's slowing down, and he goes, it's what? And they played that in the trailer a lot,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
what? Because that was a big, slowing down, because when they were trying to figure out what
Yeah.
this thing was,
And even at the end, when he's trying to convince Bill Pullman, not to, the president not to go on this attack, and he's like, "We need fighter pilots." He's like, "Mr. President, you can't go," and he's just like, "Well, I'm a combat pilot. I gotta, yeah."
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Okay, I don't know," but he did. He nailed the part. He was very convincing, and he wasn't like, well, they had the CIA guy or whoever. What was that guy's role? The kind of asshole
Oh,
character. Was he
the
CIA or was he
well, you
like
mean the one that knew about Area 51 and all that
yeah,
stuff? The guy
yeah.
that was in
Son of a woman.
Son of the Woman.
Mm,
He was like a
the
chick.
principal, right? And then
Huh?
he was the principal of Son of a Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to
He's
remember.
always good in any movie.
He was. I thought he was like not the chief of staff, but he was like the.
I want to say like the
Yeah.
Department of Defense or something.
Yeah, something like
or
that.
He was some skeezy character, and he played the skeezy character really
Oh,
well.
He always plays a skeezy character
yeah.
He's
well.
such a good actor.
Yeah.
But a lot of times the military
James
guys get thrown under
Rehorn.
the bus.
James
James
Rehorn.
Yeah.
Rehorn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
My
Yeah.
favorite scene, and I don't know if you guys would agree, but favorite scene is when the alien took over. What's his face
The
is
one scientist.
yeah, the crazy scientist who was in the Star Trek movies.
Yeah,
What's his name? Brent Spiner?
Brent Spiner.
Brent
Yeah.
Dude, that voice is so creepy, man.
Well,
I mean, everybody in the theater, I remember we were all like, what in
Well,
the F is going on?
well, that's the thing. The movie did a great job of tying in, number one, relatable characters that you could get behind.
Oh, yeah, big
You
time.
know, comedy, a good dose of comedy, a lot of action scenes, just enough sci-fi to make it work, and that little horror element
Oh, man.
of that thing
hmm
coming to life,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just basically killing him and then just smashing his face up and
Dude,
smearing his
that
face
was
against the
so
window and
creepy.
talking.
Oh, man. I remember
Creepy.
little kids were like going, ah.
Yeah, because that movie it kind of changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, it changed the tone.
That tone.
Yeah.
It went from it's that kind of action packed. It did get into that horror element.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
remember
You
Will
know.
Smith, the first part of the movie be ha ha, and then the second part is oh. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
what?
And then when the thing first when it wakes up and it's got those squiggly
Kinda
things
like
coming.
Oh
the
yeah.
It reminded me of the
like
thing.
the thing.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
thing, and it had
Yeah, it's
that.
like a cross between the thing and Alien,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and War of the Worlds. Really, there's
Yeah.
just a cool mix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that alien's voice, like you said, I mean,
Oh my
release
God,
me.
dude, I'm getting
Oh,
chills by you
And then,
guys
you know,
doing it.
and
Whoa.
then he goes, "What do you want?" Die.
Oh, yeah, everybody in the
And you're
theater
like,
like,
"Oh
oh,
shit!"
shoot
And
that
he
piece of.
said, "Is this thing bulletproof?" And he goes, "No, sir." And Adam Baldwin picks out that 9mm and starts bam, bam,
Dude,
blasting.
yeah, we
You
got to
know?
talk about Adam Baldwin.
Yeah, he's a solid
Yeah.
actor too.
I love
You know,
that
he's been
guy.
in everything.
From Firefly to what was that movie?
Full
My
Metal
Bodyguard.
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket.
My
Yeah,
Bodyguard. That's going back. Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
first thing I remember.
yeah.
Seeing
Me
him.
too. Me too. Yeah, yeah.
He was great. I mean, the whole thing was awesome. And Russell Case, the drunk,
Oh, Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid played the
Yeah.
drunk
Yeah.
crop duster guy. And I mean, just the whole thing. You go in to see a movie and you know it's about aliens invading and everything. And what do? They make fun of him for being
Conspiracy.
abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, when I was abducted by aliens, it was like snickering.
And
they're
then they
like,
got those
they're
guys
like,
on the camera. They're like, they did things to him. You
Yeah.
know. You know.
oh, but here you are. You're bought into the whole premise of the movie, and you're still laughing at the guy that was
Yeah.
abducted by
Yeah.
aliens. And it was like still a joke. I mean,
And he's like,
that's some good writing and a good
I
delivery.
mean, the
And he's
best
by
line
Randy
in that
Quaid.
movie was when he was about to hit the plane or the ship with his plane. He goes, "Hiya, boys! Remember me? I'm back."
well, when remember, and he says, I've been telling them for 10 damn years that they're coming. Nobody would listen. You know,
Oh,
nobody would
man.
listen.
Love Randy
Yeah.
Quaid.
It was really neat. I remember, I guess, in the original production, instead of being in a jet, he had his crop duster because he pulled it
Oh.
along with him on his trailer, and he had strapped a missile or a bomb onto the crop duster.
I think they have that as
And
an extra on the DVD, right?
yeah, I think it was like an extra, and it shows kind of like the preliminary,
Right.
images and stuff where he goes up
forgot all about
and
that,
does
yeah.
that. So instead, what they did is they went back. They made him able to fly one of the fighter planes, and they do a little photo of him posing next to his jet fighter, in Vietnam, and then
And he was always kind of a
ties it.
disappointment to his kids and stuff. And so when he becomes the hero,
That
Oh,
was such a
yeah.
cool
it's
part.
it's a
man.
cool
Yeah.
cool scene.
And they
Oh, it's just
actually,
heartbreaking,
yeah,
the
Well, 'cause
kids.
you
he-
see the kids all sad.
Yeah,
at
well,
the
he
end,
starts
too.
to take the shot, and his plane, the bomb gets stuck. Remember, it
Yeah.
malfunctions, and they're like, "Oh, here he goes." He's disappointed him again. He's a failure again.
Yeah,
And that's when he looks at that photo. He's like, "Okay, I'm just gonna
tell my
do a
kids.
kamikaze here."
Tell my kids I love them.
Yeah.
And it's like his oldest son, the one that really didn't like him
Yeah.
that much, is just in there, and he's like, "What? No," and
That guy's
so
always good, and
heartbreaking.
that kid was always good because I remember he was in Gone in 60 Seconds, and
Really?
yeah, he was also
Was
in
he
a.
in La Bamba also?
can't
I don't remember.
Not
Remember
not not Richie Valens, but the
Well, no
I thought he was
kidding,
one of
but
the side- I thought he was in like part of his family though, but I can't
Uh,
remember correctly.
Yeah, but yeah, all
But
the kids did
such
a
a
good job.
such a good movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they just tied all those stories up so nice and neat. But I'll tell you what, it is a real kick in the gut when you see all the ships starting to blow up all the major
Yeah.
cities, and
Mm.
and you know that they're all over the world, and you're just like, wow.
Well, and then towards the beginning too, with all the things that they were trying to penetrate this thing, it had that force field around it.
Yeah.
Right.
They're shooting the missiles and it's just bouncing off. They're just like, what?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
green explosion, and that was
Mhm.
it.
And then you had Harry Connick Jr. playing his best friend, Will Smith's best friend.
Yeah.
And then he gets taken out. And he had a cool little scene,
Little
as a
cameo,
little
yeah.
cameo.
Yeah.
Not
I wish they
not
would have
too.
kept him alive, but
Yeah, he had to go. Will Smith had to be the. But
it
but really, realistically, the president up there flying the plane. I mean, that's kind of far
was
fetched.
a big plane.
It's
Well,
it's a little bit. That's a little. I mean,
Come on, it added to the fun.
yeah,
part
it
of the
did,
movie.
but
I mean,
at the same time,
oh, trust me. So like this is like early internet, right? So it's like,
right?
yeah.
so I actually had a pen pal at the time who was
A
from
pen pal.
I
You had a
did.
pen pal?
I did way back in the day
The hell?
with fellow in England, and he literally got so pissed off at this movie because
Of how they.
the president of the United States
Was it becoming the hit?
becomes the hero, and nobody does anything around the world waiting for the Americans to do something. It was like really bent out of shape because it shows the British pilots in the desert, and they're like, oh, the Americans have a plan. He's like, well, it's about bloody time, and it's like, and the guy's like, yeah, so nobody else tried anything, nobody else did anything. They're just
USA,
waiting.
Hey,
for the
USA,
Americans.
He should have.
USA.
And well, and I remember too, I was just like,
Do you remember
yeah,
World
but
War II?
but they made I said, but they made it in the United States, and it's called Independence Day.
Right.
I'm like they're gonna slant
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But I never heard from him again after that movie.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
kind of wild,
Like we did our Independence Day from you fucks, 200 years ago or whatever. I mean,
Coming up on 250.
oh yeah, it's 250. Yeah, it is 250.
Coming up next year.
Yeah, it's coming up on 250. Wow, that's unreal.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was just so exciting. It was just such a good movie. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's so many different pieces to it. And then when the president's wife, the helicopter
Yeah.
gets knocked out of the sky.
And you don't expect her, what happens to her, it's the president's wife. You don't think she's going to kick off or anything.
Yeah, and the one gal picks her up, and
Yeah,
and she's like, "Oh, I didn't know you recognized me," and she's like, "Oh yeah," and she's like, "Well, what do you do for a living?" And she's, "I'm a dancer." She's like, "Oh, ballet."
Yeah,
and
oh,
she's like,
ballet.
she's like, "No, exotic," It's like,
He's like, oh.
yeah, but they did
Yeah.
well, and blah blah blah. But it was just a neat scene.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
for all intent and purposes, just a good scene. And then when they do bring her back, and then it's like, yeah, nothing we can do. She's a goner. You're
Oh,
just
man.
like,
Yeah, and his
oh,
daughter, little daughter, he's having to
oh,
take the daughter
That
in
was
there.
so
Oh,
sad.
man.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
after she dies, he walks out, and his daughter is sitting there looking at him, and she's just, I mean, I don't know who that kid was.
She was a great
nailed
actress.
it. She was just like, "Is mommy sleeping?"
Yeah.
And
Oh,
he's like,
man.
he's like,
Yeah, she's sleeping all right.
yeah, she's sleeping.
Yeah.
And he's just, he's like trying to hold it together,
Yeah.
and it's a good
It
scene.
was funny because after he looks up at the assistant and goes, "Can you go get me that stripper lady?" And
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, I just it's one of those movies that if it's on TV, you're gonna watch it. I mean,
Oh yeah.
if you're just fishing around, but I guess nowadays people don't really.
Well, it plays on like AMC or something. I
Yeah.
think quite a bit or something. One of those,
Wouldn't be
It's
surprised.
always, and it'll play tomorrow.
Yeah,
with
definitely.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like every 4th of July, and usually like I work, long hours on the 4th of July. But either the day before or day after, I'm watching 2 movies. I'm watching Independence Day, and I'm watching The Patriot.
Oh yeah,
Because they're both just
great movie,
movies.
and directed and written by the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roland Emmerich did Patriot.
Honestly,
He
I
did
really
the
I
Patriot
kinda
with Mel
forgot about
Gibson.
that.
Hmm.
I kinda forgot that that was
Oh
the
wow,
connection too, yeah.
yeah, I didn't
But
realize
it's
that.
just like, yeah, both of them were just great movies. But yeah, but Independence Day, that's like a standby for me, and like you said, if it's ever on, you just watch it. You don't turn the
You
channel,
don't.
you
Same with the
know.
Patriot. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I'm watching it. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what though, when the with Independence Day, I just remember that coming out and just being such a huge hit. And that just I mean, Will Smith was already kind of on that upward trend.
Oh yeah,
That just skyrocketed
yeah,
his career like nobody's business.
yeah,
I'll tell you what, and him and Jeff Goldblum up there,
yeah.
and
When
he's
they're
yeah, and he's like, "You really think you can fly that thing?" And he
Yeah.
goes, "You really think you can do all that bullshit you just said?"
yeah.
They're
And
just kind of like,
remember,
"Ugh."
they get stuck or something up there, don't they?
Well, yeah, yeah. Well, they
The was it the rock? Does the rocket jam on them too, or no?
well,
Or it
no.
gets
What it
stuck?
is they go up, and because Will Smith's supposed to be flying the thing, and Jeff Goldblum's character is, because he's Will Smith's like flying around because the ship is, reconnecting,
Hmm.
with the mothership, and so it puts it on autopilot and brings it in, and Jeff Goldblum's like, don't fight it, He's like, I was hoping you
Yeah,
would do this,
because
So
they got the plane from Area 51
Yeah.
right
because
from
they
when
had
it
found
crashed
it
years
from
ago.
years
Yeah.
ago, which was funny. I remember Brett Spencer's like, yeah, just in the last few days, all these little gadgets started lighting up. It's really cool, you know?
Yeah, it's been really exciting.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
exciting.
yeah,
But yeah, so when because they get up to the mothership and the thing's huge. It's like what, a
Yeah.
quarter size of the moon is
Well,
how big it's supposed to be. Like
yeah.
I just remember going, "Oh
insane.
shoot, they're in
Oh yeah.
trouble." Yeah.
And yeah, so they're getting sucked into this thing, and you see all these other ships and landing craft, all these things that are getting ready for the full scale invasion
Right.
once everything's done, and they're like looking at it and they're just like, holy crap. But basically just docks, and they're like, oh crap. So they put up the little blast shields or whatever so they can't see them.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
that's when Jeff Goldblum, uploads the virus
Right.
that's going to disrupt the shields, at least
To
for a few
bring
minutes.
the shields down so that they could
Yeah.
actually attack it.
And even then, that all goes wrong, and it requires the whole suicide mission to
Yeah,
really get
yeah.
it to go.
Well, and before that, towards the beginning of the movie, remember they even tried to nuke this thing because they couldn't penetrate it with missiles or anything. So
Well,
they finally,
it was after they were attacking the president telepathically, and he's just like,
yeah, yeah. When the
they just want
alien
us to kill
telepath,
us. Yeah, and
yeah,
he's just
they're
like,
like locusts. They're
yeah.
coming to exterminate us.
He goes, nuke him.
Yeah,
And he's just like, nuke him. He's like, no second thoughts now.
So then they had that scene with Jeff Bridges, or not Jeff Bridges, Jeff Goldblum acting all trying to act drunk.
That was one of the worst.
Actually, that's the worst impression of a drunk
Yeah,
person
yeah,
ever.
yeah, it was because like literally the next scene when he's in talking about he wasn't drunk at all. I mean,
Yeah.
and he's got this bottle that's almost gone, and stuff. And yeah, that was a little cheesy,
Yeah,
but
just have him be pissed. Don't have him drunk because he
yeah,
couldn't act
Yeah.
that way.
yeah,
I mean,
Well, if you're gonna have one gripe with a movie, that's not a bad one to have.
yeah,
I'll tell you what though, but really, Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith had really good chemistry.
oh
Just the
yeah,
two of them
yeah. They
bantering
did,
back and
they
forth.
they
did.
did.
They really weren't around each other till the very tail end of the movie. But you just kind of bought that they were a team, uh, because yeah. So when they get locked in there and the virus is uploaded, and then they can't get
Get
out,
out. Yeah.
and then the alien's like, "What's going on?" and hits that button, and so the window kind of opens up. And he's like, "Oh, hide, hide!" So they all
Yeah,
duck in the back of the ship, and that's where they kind of get their cigars.
because they
They
figure they're
steal a
gonna
couple
die.
cigars.
They're gonna die anyway.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
"Well, I guess we're going out."
Yep.
And so when they come around, they're like, "Hey, hi there!
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
say hello to the humans,
Yeah.
or the Earthlings, And they're waving, and the thing's just like, what? Yeah, and he goes, you think they know what's gonna happen? He goes, they don't have a clue.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but actually they did because it pops up. This little warning light pops up, and
Hmm.
it's a little skull and crossbone, but the alien, and it's like,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh no!
I'm like,
And
do you
they,
guys
and
know
they
how?
launch that missile and just blows the whole thing up, which makes sense because when you're inside of something like that and it's that compressed, because someone was like, it wouldn't blow something up that big, and I'm like, Oh, that's a chain reaction right there. Plus, it's inside of an enclosed space. There's nowhere for any of that pressure to go but out, and it's just blowing everything else up with it as it
So
goes.
you've
So
really studied this
I got
quite
real in
literally. I
depth.
mean,
Oh
you've
yeah.
really went into
Well,
depth on this thing.
it's like a firecracker.
Can you
Put a
guys
firecracker on your palm and blow it up, or you make a fist and hold
Yeah,
on to it and then let it
yeah.
blow up.
can
See,
you guess how much money that movie made?
No, I don't.
ooh, 800 million.
I'm like, you're close. Actually, real close. The whole budget and of the movie was 75 million. Can you believe that? Only 75 million to
75
make.
million.
That's including the
Well, this is back in the 90s,
yeah,
though,
sure.
That's
too.
still that's not bad.
So 75 million to make, and worldwide gross was 817.4 million.
Dang, I was close.
Hmm.
They were just right behind Jurassic Park.
Wow.
The film won an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects and Best. It was nominated for Best Sound, and it did win the prestigious MTV Best Kiss Award.
Best Kiss Award.
Yeah, but between Will Smith and Vivica A. Fox.
Oh, okay.
But they said that on its release of July 3rd, 1996. Yeah, today's 3rd.
Yeah, I know.
Independence Day was considered a pivotal movement for the Hollywood blockbuster, leading the resurgence of disaster and science fiction films in the late 90s. Film was received positive reviews from critics, praise for the cast performances, musical score, visual effects, but criticism, get this, criticism for its character development.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like that's the one part. That's the one thing I loved about the movie. It
Yeah,
was,
I thought the character development was okay.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's better than a lot of movies now. I mean, there's
yeah,
some,
big time.
I like the little, you had the little friction between Jeff Goldblum and his wife.
Hmm.
Well, they were split up. I don't know if
Yeah.
they were divorced, but they were split up, and and then uh, by who was played by Margaret Collin.
Oh man,
Yeah, I
she
think they were
was.
divorced. He still wore his wedding ring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he couldn't
Couldn't
give
move
her
on.
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, yeah, you had that, and then you had, Will Smith when he goes off to fight the aliens, and then she's there by, trying to get out of the city and stuff. And you remember that one scene when she's stuck in traffic and the little kid's in the back seat, and the aliens are starting to attack, and you see all this fire coming towards them.
Oh yeah.
And the little kid's just kind of playing in the back, and she looks back and she sees this big fireball coming.
Cars launching into the
That
You
air
was
know,
with
so cool.
Yeah,
flames.
and
Yeah.
she grabs the kid and starts running, and then she jumps into like this. It was kind of like
Side.
a side alleyway or something.
Yeah, had a
And
door.
remember, she yells for that dog,
Oh, Boomer.
Boomer.
yeah.
She's
Boomer's the
like,
dog. Yeah.
Boomer, come! And the dog's running, and it just slow mo's this dog jumping into the
Dude,
alley.
everybody in the theater were going crazy for
Yeah.
that.
Was cheering for the dog.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a couple million people just died, but thank
But-
God that dog is
Yeah,
safe.
but everybody's worried about the damn dog, Yeah, yeah. And that scene where he jumps and that fireball just goes right past him,
Slams the door behind him.
Yeah, that was a great little scene. And
I'll tell you what, the special effects though were so good. Like
Yeah,
when they
they were.
blew up the Empire State Building and just straight down to the White House, to
Mhm.
Los Angeles with the one building.
Yeah, remember the
Always
girl?
reminds me of
Remember the girl?
Nakatomi Plaza, but it looks like
Oh, yeah.
that, you know.
Remember the girl with the sign, the stripper that worked with Vivica
Yeah,
Fox?
yeah.
She told her not to go up there, and she's up there holding the sign, welcome or
Yeah,
something
make
like that.
yourself at home.
Make yourself at home, yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
And then that thing just shoots that
Oh,
fire,
man.
that big.
Oh, yeah,
That's when
opens up,
everybody in the
everyone's like,
theater like,
"It's
we're
so
fucked.
beautiful."
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah,
That's
hang
what-
on.
That's what the moth says.
Yeah.
Before it hits the bug.
Don't look at the light. I can't help it. It's so beautiful. Wasn't that in A Bug's Life or something like that? I think it was one of those. But yeah.
The U.S. military originally intended to provide personnel, vehicles, and costumes for the film. However, they backed out when the producers refused to move the script's Area 51 references.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Military is still weird about that Area 51. They
Yeah.
they really they go there.
You're right.
So what do you think,
The
Davey?
cool parts of the movie though is going to Area 51.
Yeah,
It's like so out of left field.
yeah.
It's like they just took all these different movies and mashed them up, and then they throw in a big old conspiracy theory in the middle of
Well,
it too.
remember when they're
Yeah,
going
it's so
to?
good.
They've got the alien body that Will
Oh, Will
Smith
Smith's
that
dragging
dragged
along.
dragged out of
Yeah, dragging your
you know,
heavy ass
drag
across
it,
this desert.
and then that guy says, "Sir, you're not authorized to be here," and he pulls back that cover and he goes, "Does this authorize me?" He's got that alien there, like, you know. So
It's one of the best Will Smith movies ever. I mean,
Pretty
you know,
good.
when I was watching it this time, I didn't like his portrayal as well. I don't know if it has to do with the slap that he did at the Oscars this year or whatever. I don't know.
you
I
gotta
just
forget
looked at
that.
him. I just looked at him a little. I thought he was a little overreacted myself.
I don't know.
You know.
I had fun with it.
I mean,
And he was when he comes out of there,
Yeah.
he's like, "Look at you with your spaceship all busted up,"
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm gonna line all your friends up next to you. I'm gonna," because he
yeah,
just
a little
lost
over,
everybody.
little over the top. Just a
Yeah.
It's
little.
supposed to be
you
a
know?
funny movie. Yeah, I mean,
And I mean, literally, his whole
yeah.
squadron just died.
yeah, and then
Right.
It's
right.
like everybody was just dead.
Yeah,
And it's like
his best friend died.
you
Harry
take out
Connick.
one alien, and the crowd was just all behind him
Oh, God,
because
yeah.
you're just like
Well,
he's the
when that
only one left.
craft was chasing him was pretty intense. When
Oh,
it was
big
cha-
time.
with
That
after he
was
through the
some cool
canyons and
shooting.
stuff.
That was
That
some,
was
Mhm.
really fun.
that was
Yeah.
some good aerial shots too. I mean,
But then when he gets to the hatch and the alien comes out, it's like,
Yeah,
and he's just like, thump, and it punches it like
Welcome to Earth.
Welcome to Earth.
yeah.
Captain. But yeah, we forgive we forgive Will Smith, man. Yeah.
I don't.
Welcome back, buddy.
I don't-
Bad Boys 4. All right, let me ask you guys one more question. Do you guys remember the nickname for this movie?
The nickname?
Yeah. They put it on hats. They put it. I think Taco Bell had it on their Taco Bell cups.
Gosh, I don't.
That's it.
ID.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
ID4.
right.
ID4, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like there was like a nickname.
Oh, well, that's the
ID.
Yeah, no, that was all that was the big promotional.
Yeah.
You see ID4 on
Yeah.
a whole bunch of stuff. But probably one of the saddest things, was just really, it was just a kick in the gut to me, was Independence Day sequel.
Oh, I haven't seen.
I
it.
haven't.
I
Did
was
you watch
told-
it?
I watched,
Oh,
like, I remember it's like back in the day when they still had the red boxes. I remember getting the red box just to watch it. And I put the disc in. I watched about 8 or 9 minutes. Said, "What in the hell?"
Really? The first 8 or 9 minutes?
It was so bad. And then I'm like, well, what's the end? So I just like clicked to the end.
No way.
And I'm just like, it's like a kaiju movie. It's like some giant
Oh.
alien queen,
What?
like from Alien, but
You're
like
you're kidding.
5 stories tall. And I'm just
Walking
like,
through the earth or
Yeah.
something? Like
marching-
Godzilla?
Yeah, marching around in the desert, and I'm just like, "What is this movie?" It was so bad. The premise was so horrible.
And some of the characters came, like Jeff Goldblum came back, Bill
Yeah,
Pullman,
Yeah, well, you pay
Vivica
people
Fox.
enough money, they'll come back.
Well, yeah.
but oh god, it was so bad.
That's why it bombed it.
Oh.
Nobody talks about it hardly. See, I was going to watch it the other day because I hadn't seen it.
It was almost as bad as watching the sequel to Highlander.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
God.
It was almost that bad.
Wow.
Eesh.
Yeah, you would think if they
Roland Emmerich directed the sequel.
waited all these years to do a sequel, you think they would have taken a little bit more time
Yeah.
and stuff to actually, polish the script and do it right,
You'd have thought.
You would have thought. But they were thinking, we got CGI, we got all this, we'll just throw these guys at it, and
Yeah,
it'll
it's
make money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just
It's
cash
just,
grab.
yeah, it's just
You know
we're gonna
that.
make money off.
The sequel cost 165 million to make,
So more than twice.
and
double.
worldwide box office was 389.7 million.
Yeah, so it barely broke even once you figure in
Basically.
publicity and everything.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh god, it was so bad. I mean, I just started watching. I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" I've never seen anything so bad.
Wow, that's
Damn.
maybe I won't watch it.
Yeah.
So
Well, you can get it for
Yeah,
free
comment if you guys
somewhere.
have seen the sequel. If it's
so let
worth
me
watching or not.
let me ask you this, Dave and Shane.
Mhm.
Do you guys believe in aliens?
Of
Do you think
course.
it's possible?
Yeah,
Oh heck yeah.
absolutely.
What do you think they would be, friendly or foe?
I think they'd be friendly.
So you're more on Team ET,
Yeah.
Shane?
Me, I'm more on the Paul side of things.
What?
The movie Paul,
Oh.
where the alien comes down and he's just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like, what the heck?
The movie's awesome.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I like a good alien premise. In fact, I always wanted to write a story where the Earth is where basically the aliens finally approach Earth and they're like, "You guys are so violent.
Yeah.
If you put away all your weapons, we'll let you in to the thing." I always thought that would be a great premise for a story because when there's an
Serious.
outside invasion and they have to turn to the humans to figure out how to fight. Because that's all we do.
Dude, I would watch that.
And we do it well, yeah.
I think
But,
Rod Serling would have liked this movie.
Oh my
You know, I
gosh.
think
Rod Serling would
yeah,
have had
Dude,
Yeah,
he
he
would
would've
have
had
been
fun.
crying.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, he would have thought this was good. Maybe he would have made it maybe a little bit more serious, but
Yeah.
but
And no
you know,
drunk scenes.
he always has
Yeah.
he always has a twist to things, which a guy that does things about aliens and different things. I mean, he was pretty good at that stuff.
What, as far as an alien movie goes that really impressed me was the Jordan Peele Nope.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Really
Very
good.
good.
Really?
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, and one of the scariest scenes in the movie that didn't even have to do
Yeah.
with the actual spaceship in that
Is that
one,
one the people are
with the chimpanzee. Yeah.
Oh, that part too, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the shot of them being digested.
Oh yeah, that was weird enough. Yeah,
You
but
gotta
yeah,
watch
that
it.
movie Nope was surprisingly good
Yeah.
and very original,
Very original.
which is one of the things I really like.
Very good movie. Good
Yeah.
job, Jordan.
You
Mr.
remember
T.
the one scene when the newscaster's and he's on the air and he goes, "People of Los Angeles, please do not shoot at you could cause international war, interstellar war. Please do not shoot at the alien spacecraft."
Yeah, they're talking about Los Angeles. I'm just like,
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
What those things would have flown over
Or
Kansas
Texas,
City,
yeah, Texas, yeah.
Houston is like, nah.
Yeah, Texas would have been bombing the hell out of it before anybody.
I forgot
Yeah,
another
alien
character.
ship over San Antonio. It's like, bam, bam, bam,
Yeah.
bam.
What character are you
You
talking
forgot
about?
about one character in the movie.
Who's that?
Which one?
Harvey Firestein.
Oh yeah,
So good in that movie.
Yeah, he gets that. I love when. Remember when the car's flying at him and he looks up and he goes, "Oh crap!"
Yeah.
And he goes,
David, why did I send my mom to the Hamptons?
yeah, yeah.
Or I
guess I called my
no,
brother.
it's why did I send my mom to Atlanta? And then they nuke Atlanta later in the movie.
Yeah.
She escapes to
Yeah,
Atlanta. And
and
that's
I
when
never
they
thought of
nuke
that.
her.
I never thought about
that.
That's where they wind up nuking the
Nuke
cities
the-
in Atlanta. I'm just like his poor mother.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's like one of the biggest moments of irony. I'm just sitting there going,
Yeah.
huh.
And the references to chess, the game chess, like with Jeff Goldblum and his father playing chess,
Yeah.
and then it becomes like a big chess game, figuring all this stuff out and anticipating the moves and
Yeah.
the different.
It's still a fun movie to go back
Oh,
and
sure,
watch.
sure it
Even
is.
if you know what's going to happen,
Fast.
it's just an enjoyable movie.
Man.
And Mary McConnell McDonald
Yeah.
as
plays
the president's wife.
Yeah.
She was very
She
good.
was so
She
good.
was
She's
good.
good in everything.
Yeah.
Mrs. Stands with the fist.
That's right.
Honestly, she did a great job. She's very first lady like, supporting her husband, not wanting to jump in the helicopter and leave right away. And,
Watching
Mhm.
over the
You know.
daughter and stuff.
yeah.
And then
so
oddly, she
good job.
becomes the president in Battlestar Galactica, the remake.
That's right.
That's
Oh,
Yeah,
that
maybe
shows us.
she was actually a Cylon in this movie. And she
Yeah.
she regenerated.
See, that's some
into
of that
the-
conspiracy theory.
Crossover.
Yeah, a little crossover there.
Sequel.
And Bill Pullman, I mean, he's been in everything. The guy,
Yeah.
Spaceballs and all that
Oh,
stuff. So to
Ruthless
have
People.
and his speech was it was a very
Oh, it
uplifting.
got you pumped
Well, it
up.
was
You know, it got
Yeah.
you pumped up
Yeah.
and stuff. You
Well,
know,
like you said,
so
everybody was cheering in the theater.
yeah.
You know,
And a lot of people talk about when they talk about this film, they talk about that speech that he
Oh
gives.
yeah.
It was very
Yeah.
well written and delivered and stuff. So
Yeah.
you know, if you get a chance to go see this movie, I think it's definitely well, not go see it, but
Stream it.
stream
yeah,
it
it's
or
straight to.
buy it. It'd be even one
Oh,
to
I'd buy it.
I'd buy it.
They
Yeah,
got
it's
they've got a
it's
really
physical media for me, so
they got a
I'm
really
definitely
good
on that one.
they got a really good 4K of it. I mean, that looks amazing.
Hmm.
Sounds really loud too. It's really cool. It's definitely worth a purchase.
Oh yeah.
Or buy it, the 4K stream of it.
Yeah, just don't get the dual disc with the
Oh, with the sequel.
sequel. Just don't.
Don't get
I've not heard
with the
one. I've asked at least over 20 people if they've seen it, and everyone don't watch it.
Oh yeah,
Every one of them. Not one of them liked it. They said it uh, it ruined the spirit of the first one. And I'm like, I won't watch it then.
you know, Ron Howard's dad was in this too. He plays the chaplain.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
married him. That's right.
Rance Howard.
He
Yeah,
he
really.
Rance
married
Howard.
Will
Yeah,
Smith and Vivica.
yeah,
Oh, but darn.
yeah. Ron Howard's dad has been in a lot of stuff other than Ron Howard stuff. I mean, he was a
Yeah.
working
Oh,
actor
he's
for all
awesome.
those years. Yeah,
That's kind of fun.
yeah. So just a little bit of trivia there.
All right. Well, I can't really think of anything else, but I'll tell you what, fun movie, great to watch. Like I said, watch it every year right around the 4th of July. Speech alone, perfect. Get you all pumped up, get you all psyched to be an American, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
It just puts you in a
Less
good
pen
mood.
pal, but hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Gained a great movie.
He'll get
so,
over it.
I'm sure you hadn't thought about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's going to be from the American point of view. I mean, it's made in America, you know. I mean,
It is. And
just
it's a 4th of July
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
They just try
Yeah.
to bring everybody else into
Yeah.
for the ride.
So can I ask if you even got that far? What happens to Bill Pullman's character? Is he just the retired president?
I can't
Is he
even
like at an
remember.
old folks home?
I just remember like the beginning, and they were talking about all of the technology that they gleaned from the alien
Well, and they had
ships and stuff, and it was like a modern day utopia,
Oh, okay.
and so they had like these big defense laser cannons, and everything was clean energy,
That's
and everything was like, but it was just like so out of left.
Well, and they had
field.
Will
And
Smith's
the
character.
special effects were crap.
You know, I
They
do
looked
know this
horrible.
about it. The Will Smith's character, they had killed his character off.
Did they?
You know, saying he died in a training accident or something. Come on, man. He just survived this big alien attack and then he dies in a
Yeah, I'd have him like on a special assignment or something.
yeah, something.
Yeah, bring back
because we know
Vivica.
someone who does a lot of special assignments.
Yeah. I think he was
There you go.
I think the only reason he didn't do this movie, I think he was already committed to another movie.
And he's probably
when
making that crappy movie with his son.
no, it was maybe it was iRobot or
No, not for the sequel.
no, I mean what he was filming. Wasn't he an iRobot?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that was way before.
Oh,
the
was it?
sequel,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm a little confused on that. I don't know. He was doing something.
I got you.
Yeah. So they killed him.
So they killed it.
Yeah,
So they
what
killed
the
him
hell?
off.
Yeah.
Well, you
Roland?
can't have Vivica Fox back and then not have him. You have to
Yeah,
do something with
man.
his character. You know
Ridiculous.
that. You know.
I mean, Will Smith could get paid $10 million just to come in and do a scene in the kitchen. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think so, Dave.
Yeah.
Just it's not the same. You can't. A lot of times these movies, you know, they think lightning is going to strike twice. You know, so many years later and stuff, and it just ruins. It's like
It's
well,
hard.
it
like
becomes
doing that 80s show after you did the 70s show.
Yeah.
It just doesn't
Yeah.
work. It just doesn't.
well, I think they do it for fan. What's that called? Fan service.
Yeah, kind of a nostalgia fan service kind
Yeah.
of thing, but it just falls flat every
Yeah.
time.
Well, look, I mean, they fall flat with that crappy Star Wars movies.
Well,
And we gotta touch on some of those here.
tell you what,
eventually.
yeah, we are. We're going to have to go back. Well, we haven't even done the prequels yet.
I appreciate
Oh,
them
yes.
more now.
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
Honestly, I do too.
Yeah. Oh, I do too.
Plus, we've got fun prequel stories from waiting in line out in front of the
That's
theater.
right.
So,
Yes,
Oh,
in the
yeah.
middle of summer.
You guys will love
yes.
it.
Yeah, those are good ones.
We are we are proud geeks.
Yeah. We are not afraid to show it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
So I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Spitball Cinema's tribute to Independence Day. This is going to be a special bonus release tomorrow.
So,
You know, we usually try to release our podcast episodes on Wednesdays at noon, but since it's the 4th of July, we are going to be releasing this tomorrow
can I
for the 4th.
throw something in that's out of left field?
Sure.
Yeah, why
Um,
not?
Today we heard of the passing of the great
Oh,
Michael Madsen.
yeah, we do have to mention that Mr. Michael Madsen passed away today suddenly of cardiac arrest, and it's very sad. One of our favorites in the Tarantino franchise movies, and he's been in everything. This guy, you know,
Donnie
Oh, yeah.
Brasco.
Donnie Brasco.
Sonny Black, right?
He was Sonny Black in Donnie Brasco,
Gosh.
and you know he was in The Natural with
I
Robert
forgot,
Redford.
That's right.
He had a little small part in that.
Oh, yeah.
And then the movie that I thought was very well done was Species. You know,
Oh, that's
you know,
right.
Species.
Wow, Tasha Henstridge,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course,
That one.
yeah, Species. You know, and then the Kill Bill,
Yeah.
you know, movie, and of course Reservoir Dogs doing as Mr. Blonde doing that famous dance scene.
Stuck
You
in
know,
the middle.
the second when he's getting ready to torture that cop.
Oh my God.
I mean, everybody.
Great scene.
Yeah, everybody's gonna remember him for torturing this damn and cutting this cop's ear off in this movie. But
Yeah.
and then he was in the remake of The Getaway. You
Oh,
know,
that's right, dude. That's a great.
you know,
movie, too.
and so yeah, it's very sad that Mr. Michael
Yeah.
Madsen has passed away. It's definitely he'll be missed in films.
Yeah.
You know, that guy, he was just a solid, great actor.
You knew you were in for a ride seeing him on the screen.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He always made it interesting. You just because you always looked at him and was like, what the hell's he gonna do? Yeah, you just never knew. You never knew what the hell he was gonna do.
And
You
he
know,
always
you-
played those
especially-
characters
yeah, he
too,
always
you
played
know?
those swarming
He
characters.
was like that in the Hateful Eight. You didn't
yeah,
know what the hell he
you
was
didn't know.
there for.
You knew he was gonna do something, but you didn't know what the hell he was gonna
I mean,
do.
he
You know?
hit it so perfectly.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah.
So,
So you know,
Virginia Madsen's his sister. Oscar
he's
winner.
he's Virginia Madsen's
Brother.
sister or brother.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow, did not know that.
So if Virginia Madsen, if you need some
you-
consoling,
You think she's listening to our podcast?
yeah, man.
So
get
if
in
you're
touch,
listening,
get
yeah,
in touch with us.
yeah,
Be happy to.
yeah. Rest in peace, Mr. Michael Madsen.
Yeah, rest in peace.
So if you like this episode and you have any comments, complaints, anything,
Yeah.
you can email us at spitballcinema@gmail.com. You can listen to this on YouTube, Rumble, and also Spotify. And we
Facebook.
do have a Facebook page. Spitball
Yeah,
Cinema.
write us.
You knew that,
Ratings
didn't
are
you?
going crazy.
Didn't you know that?
I know, but still,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just astounds me.
It
The
does.
level of marketing that we've
yeah.
managed to obtain.
Well,
tell
write
you
us
what.
if you remember going to the theater, if you had like a big rowdy crowd like we did, and
Yeah, some of the best stories are those movie theater stories.
Oh, yeah.
The cinema,
Yeah.
in there to experience things.
Well, there's nothing like seeing a good movie that you really loved because you always remember where you were when you saw it and all
Yeah,
that good
yeah.
stuff. You know,
could
so
be a first date for someone.
a first date.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't know. It might be a bad thing later if the date don't work out. Or years later,
Still memorable.
years later, you're paying alimony or something.
Yeah.
Because
Like this damn movie.
yeah. I remember this damn movie. That's the start
I'm
of
still gonna watch
that.
it, but still.
That was the start of my hell.
Hey, I got a good movie for that though, so we'll save it for next time.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I think that's going to do it, folks. I'm
Awesome.
Scott.
I'm Shane.
I'm David.
All right. Thank you, folks.
I love you.
Bye.
Should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night, we will not vanish without a fight, we're going to live on, we're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.